Hey guys, welcome to the channel. So, if you saw my introduction video, you kind of know what this channel is all about. Um, which I just kind of started this because I want to have an outlet for those of us who create and those of us who make things. And just like iron sharpens iron, I think we can learn from each other. So, on today's episode, I think we're going to mill some wood. Okay, so what I'm working on here is we are have to set up a flat level surface before you can cut your log. Your first cut is critical. You have to get that flat level surface. So I'm using actually it's funny. It's an old piece off of a piano. I think it's poplar. It's really super flat, and it was the perfect size. I have another setup that I use that uses two 2x4s and a bracket on each end of the log, but and I'll show that on a different video. But for right now, I'm just using this because it's flat enough and it's strong enough, and it's not going to flex as I'm cutting it. And I got to be a dad first, so I'm looking for my daughters, but want to make sure that they're not around while I'm cutting. And then you always want to make sure that you set your saw depth below, just a fraction below where the screw heads are. When you screw those flat boards down, you want to make sure that your saw depth is below that, because of course you don't want to ruin a saw blade. I mean, it will tear up a saw blade. I haven't yet sawn into anything that was debris inside of the tree yet, so let's hopefully my record stays good on that. But you always want to make sure that it's set underneath where the screws are. And as you can see here, I'm going to pull that back and make sure, yep, I am below the screws. And then you just kind of rock it and roll it. You want to maintain, there's the two aluminum extrusion bars there, that you want to keep those flat against that flat surface, at least as flat as you can make it. And then the first cut sometimes is a little harder than this, and I know it's in it's sped up a little bit, but I mean, that is a clean cut, and especially for an older saw blade, that is a clean cut. It's just a really good system. So now what I have here is I only have a 20-inch bar on my Husqvarna, and so I have to reduce down the size of the log. I can only get a 15 and a half inch log size through that because I only have the 20-inch bar. So I had to reduce just a little bit of that branch that was coming off of there. And once I did that, I can get set up and just start ripping boards. So as you can see, seems like I'm set a little deep. Well, the reason is the gentleman that gave me all this wood wanted to all these logs. He wanted me to cut this piece for he and his wife's anniversary. He wanted to make a floating shelf, and he wanted something about 2.5, 2 3/4 inches thick. And so this first piece, this isn't of course the first piece that I've done, but this being actually the first piece on the video is for he and his wife. He's going to build a shelf for her to put little trinkets on, and it's just a really, really nice piece of wood. It's a really easy cut. I've cut some harder wood, and this works out pretty well. But something I want you to pay attention to here is just watch the back of that log. You'll see the crease where my saw went into. It's slowly expanding. Now, as you're cutting logs, you want to pay really close attention to that, because that does not always happen. And I know you can't see my head, but I am watching that very closely, because what is going on is what can happen is sometimes the weight of the log will actually squeeze that closed. And in that case, what you want to do is you want to put little stickers in there. I use door shims. I just double up door shims. And you'll see me do that in a little bit, but that's because I'm at the end and I don't want it to pinch back against the blade, which will mess up your cut. It'll pinch the saw blade. I don't know that it could do damage to the saw, but I'm sure it's not good for it. But it just makes things go a lot smoother when the board is held. But you can see how it's expanding. I mean, it's probably expanded a good, I think my kerf is 3/8 of an inch on that blade, and it's expanded out probably, 3/4 to 5/8 of an inch. No, it's 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch past what the kerf is. So it's actually got a lot of tension in that piece of wood that's opening it up like that. So you'll see here just in a second that I'm gonna stop and leave my saw there and go searching for my stickers, where they're actually right on the ground next to it. But don't tell him. It'll be our secret. But it's very important to keep an eye on that if you want your cut to be clean. Yeah, there I am. I'm going searching for stickers because I guess I can't keep stuff right where I know where it's at. I'm a goofball sometimes, but yeah, I think I see them laying on the ground right next to where I was. But no, you want to put stickers in there because what those stickers are going to do is they're going to keep it separated. If the wood was not separating on its own because of the tension, I would have put stickers in probably every foot and a half, just to keep that separated, so it was not going to pinch back against the blade, and it maintains a good cut. Now here at the end, you want to be real careful, because what you can do is as one of those aluminum extrusions goes over the edge, you can start to tilt your blade. So you have to pay very close attention that you're keeping everything as flat as possible, so that you can maintain as level a surface as possible for your next cut, because you're probably not going to ever want to stop at just one cut. And you pull it right off, and there she is. So which is interesting that the heavy end didn't even collapse in on itself. It collapsed in on what seemed to be the light end. But this is a really beautiful piece of wood on the inside. That branch creates what's called a crotch section, which looks like fingers holding the wood together. That's what I'm pointing at there. And it's just a really beautiful, wood grain. And on the outside, we got the spalting. That's what I'm pointing out there. It's kind of a controlled rot that wood will get. I call it spalting. But yeah, hey guys, I tell you, I really appreciate you watching, and make sure you like and subscribe.